All right, how's it going, everybody out there? My name's Timothy with Mana Rocks. We are going to jump into the Masters 25 leagues on Magic Online. I was going to do Rivals of Ixalan, but apparently this came out today, and this is my first draft of the set ever. I have not drafted in person yet. I have not cracked a pack of this yet, so we're going to do this together. I'm not keenly aware of a lot of what's in the set. Sure, I've looked through the spoiler, but we're going to have to learn it together. So let's go and look through our pack and see what stands out to us right away. So Eidolon of the Great Revel. Oh, by the way, this is a phantom draft, so let's not worry about value or anything like that. But Eidolon of the Great Level seems like a fine card, and I think there's like a burn sub-theme to this set. So Eidolon could be a good first pick, although it's really only good in a red or mono red deck. There's Fiend Hunter, there's Kongming, which is an Anthem effect. Stang, for those of you who don't know, this is a 6-mana 3/4 that makes another 3/4, but if either of them dies, so does the other one. Kind of a really weird reprint. Morphs, which are a thing in the set. There's Sift, draw 3, discard a card for 4, which is good. This thing gets +2/+2, sack a creature. It's just like a Nantuko Husk. Lunarch Mantle, Nettle Sentinel, Noble Templar. I think Kongming might be one of the stronger cards in this pack, but I kind of like the idea of taking Eidolon as well. I don't know if there's like a little token theme or anything like that to this deck, so Arbor Elf would also be a pretty safe pick, but let's pick rares. Try them out. Eidolon the Great Revel, for those who don't know, whenever any player casts a spell with mana cost 3 or less, they take 2 damage. That's an Azusa there. There's also a Curiosity in this pack, and then there's some actually pretty decent cards that I know. Horseshoe Crab has some really busted synergies in this set, which Horseshoe Crab plus Arbor Elf plus some other stuff, they work together to make some pretty crazy cards. Azusa does not actually strike me as very good in Limited, although I haven't really tried. There's Kindle and Mana War, Blue Elemental Blast, which is a card I would hope to wheel rather than a card I'd like to pick up super early, since it's really only going to do something against blue decks. Mishra's Factory. God, this is already so confusing as to what I want to do. Like, Kindle's probably the card that goes best with my first pick, Eidolon, even though I am a big fan of Mana War as well. And Relentless Rat seems like the type of card that you can pick up early and try to go all in on Relentless Rats. I might pick up Kindle. They do get better the more you have, although they also coincidentally make your opponents better, since they add to the power of all Kindles. I could also take Chandra's Outrage, which is kind of a bigger damage spell, but yeah, let's go and pick up the Kindle here. Yeah, another Kindle's not bad. Fallen Angel, sack a creature, get +2/+1. So I guess there is like a little sacrifice theme going on. Promise of Boonrai, whenever a creature dies, you sack this and get 4 tokens. Retraction Helix being one of those cards that works with Horseshoe Crab, and both of them in the pack. So you target Horseshoe Crab with Retraction Helix, you tap it to bounce a permanent your opponent controls, and then you pay blue to untap Horseshoe Crab, and you can just go off. Ooh, this is already tough picks. I think I'm just going to take another Kindle here. The more Kindles I have, the better they get, and I don't really know what I should be doing. I guess Perilous Mirror is also decent along the lines of these burn spells. Well, Blood Moon I do not have to take because this is not a draft where money matters. Stampede Driver. Discard a card. Creatures can get +1/+1. Target creature gets first strike. This card does not seem very good. I guess there's Dauntless Cathar. This card was always fine. Then there's Perilous Mirror. This is uncommon. I guess that's for a reason. Timberback Wolf is also another one of these cards that gets better in multiples. And Echo Encourage actually seems weird in the set, or decent in the set, because there are multiple creatures like Timberback Wolves. There's Self-Assembler. There's multiple creatures that care about having multiples of them in your deck, so I could see Echo Encourage being good, but Kindle is not one of those. I think I'm going to take Perilous Mirror here. I mean, Blood Moon doesn't seem necessary. Like, Blood Moon actually doesn't seem like it does much of anything. It could take, like, Dauntless Cathar or something, but we'll just stick to the low-drop burn-type creatures. Ooh, Arcane Denial, sweet. Another Blue Elemental Blast. Maybe I'll wheel one of those, even though I don't know that I'm playing it. Kavu Climber is a 5-mana 3/3 that draws you a card. This card has the sweetest name of all time, although it often doesn't do anything. Frenzied Goblin's fine if I end up being super aggro, which I'm sure there's aggro in this set. I mean, look at what we're looking at right now. Are there themes to the set? The idea is to combine things in combos, but there aren't really like draft archetypes. per se. I mean, there's like a black beatdown card, red beatdown card. I assume you just play by what you have. Sai of the Shinobi. Equipped creature gets ++1. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you may attach this to it. Actually seems decent if I end up being a beatdown deck. Colossal Dreadmaw. So Trumpet Blast would be nice if I go in all on creatures. There's also Bloodhunter Bat, which is a flyer that drains 2 life from your opponent when he comes into play. And those are about the only cards I'm interested in. Court Hussar is probably the best card in this pack. Then there's Sai of the Shinobi. I don't know how good this is. I'm tempted to take Trumpet Blast, but Bloodhunter Bat also seems fine. Could just stay red, look to amass a bunch of creatures, maybe take out my opponent's blockers and Trumpet Blast them. So I'll be looking for token synergies here. There's another Echo Encourage. I think this might be a sleeper in this set. This card's usually pretty forgettable, but when you have multiple cards that care about cards with the same name, I think it's something to watch out for. Chartooth Cougar is actually fine, but I like Ire Shaman. This is a Megamorph creature which basically impulse draws the top of your deck, and it was shifted from rare to uncommon, so you get to play with it just a little more often. Looks like green and red are pretty open too. It also has Menace, so it's got a little bit... Ooh, Hordling Outburst. Well, that works quite perfectly with Trumpet Blast. There's also Act of Treason, which is good in these sorts of decks, and the rest of the pack's not telling me too much. But Hordling Outburst seems perfect. This is a common in this set. A common 3-mana spell that makes 3 1/1s seems good. Alright, so back to the pack we opened. I see a Soulbright Flame. This one gives Trample, or it can turn... It can produce 8 mana for 6 mana, essentially. It gives your creatures Trample. It is just another little creature, and I don't really know that I want anything else here. Sack a permanent, give something flying. Could take Phyrexian Ghoul, which might be a way to convert a bunch of creatures into damage. Yeah, let's go ahead and consider that for a moment. I think it's better than just taking a vanilla 2/1 that's not going to do much in our deck. Probably take, well, I could take Relentless Rats. I didn't see any others in this first pack. Or I could take Mishra's Factory, which if I end up mono red or something close to it, then Mishra's Factory is going to be quite good. Just another creature to kind of Trumpet Blast to victory. Now, I'm not going to take Relentless Rats here. I think I'm going to just take Mishra's Factory. Mog Flunkies or Vampire Lacerator. Yeah, we're definitely the beatdown deck here. Ghost Ship is super cool. Super cool. Mog Flunkies, 2 mana, 3/3 that can't attack or block alone, or Lacerator, 1 mana, 2/2. I think I'm just going to take a Lacerator here. Although Flunkies is fine, and look, we get a Flunkies anyway. This would not happen in real life. You would not get this Blood Moon that late. Echo Encourage does work with something like Goblin Tokens. All Goblin Tokens have the same name. So that is worth considering, but I think I just want more little creatures here. And I'll pick up Unearth. Unearth can basically just get back one of these little creatures if that's what I end up wanting to do. And these other cards seem very weak. Target assembly worker creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Mishra's Factory does become an assembly worker. And this sacks to return a random creature. We'll consider that. So right now we don't have to be black, but we're definitely red. Doomsday, you say? Well, this card isn't particularly good, so we're not going to take it. Let's go ahead and look at things we might actually take. Quicksilver Dagger. Balduvian Horde. 4 mana, 5/5. When you discard a card at random when it comes into play, or you sacrifice it. Skirk Commando, which is a morph that can deal 2 damage to target creature or player. Actually seems pretty decent. And the rest of the pack, I'm not really considering much in. Relentless Rats, having passed the 1, doesn't really make this pick look any better. Balduvian Horde is kind of the beatdown. And Skirk Commando is pretty good too. I think I'm going to take the Horde. Although, I don't think this works where... Yeah, so you have to discard a card. This isn't the type of thing where you can play it while you have an empty hand as your last card and get around the drawback. It doesn't work that way. And then I guess Skirk Commando's fine, and don't really want anything else in this pack. Maybe I'll get that Commando back. Ancient Craven. There's Flash here if you end up with Protean Hulk. Cinderstorm, 7 mana to deal 7 damage. Fortunately, we're going to be a super low curve deck, so I don't think I want the 7 mana spell. I'm looking at either another Trumpet Blast, kind of solidify us in that plan, or Pyrehound, which is an okay card. If we end up with multiple Kindles and whatnot, could be fine. Pyrehound, getting a counter every time you cast an instant or sorcery. Probably a little underpowered, even though this card was quite fine in Shadows over Innistrad or Eldritch Moon, whichever set it was in. I don't think other people want Trumpet Blast. I got that other Trumpet Blast late. Maybe I'll just get that. I'll go and take the Pyre Hound. Humble Defector, a Chroma, protection from red, protection from my deck. That's fine. I'm not going to be the pillage guy in this draft, I don't think. I think that's just like... I think this card is going to be super overrated, but it's also just going to lock people out of the game sometimes for mana-screwed opponents. I don't think that's where I want to be. I think I just want another Frenzied Goblin. These help me just continue attacking through my opponent. Supernatural Stamina seems fine in a deck like this, too. It's basically like an Earth effect where you trade 1 black and a card from your hand to save one of your creatures. And Humble Defector can draw me into gas, but I need a way to kill the Humble Defector or combo off with it. I'm just going to go and take the Frenzied Goblin. Another flash. Wow. Skeletonized does what now? It deals 3 to a creature and create a 1/1 skeleton that can regenerate for a black mana. That's pretty sweet, but I think Chandra's Outrage is just going to be better most of the time. Mesmeric Fiend would also be a consideration, and another Relentless Rats. We'll see if these rats start wheeling, but I don't think they will. We're not getting bolts and stuff. We're getting kind of the middle of the ground removal, but Chandra's Outrage is still fine. Echo Encourage is not happening here. Baloth Null, another Balduvian Hordes, or Jackal Pup. Dirge of the Dread, all creatures gain fear until end of turn. So this is 3 mana, and it can have all of my creatures just be unblockable for a turn. Basically a Magmatic Chasm effect. There's Jackal Pup, which can start swinging in early for damage. Although whenever it's dealt damage, I take that much damage. So this can be very, very poor if I end up getting bolted or something. And then Urg Raiders on end step, if it didn't attack, it deals 2 damage to us unless it's the turn it came into play. Plus another Perilous Mirror. I'm going to probably take Jackal Pup here. I do want to be beat down, right? I want as many 1-drops as I can get, so even though Jackal Pup has downside, I think it might be the right pick here. Ooh, another Kindle. So many Perilous Mirrors. There's also Simian Spirit Guide, which I guess can power out like a Balduvian Horde or something, but doesn't seem that great. God, there's some weird choices in this set. I don't know, this seems bizarre. I'm going to take another Kindle. And a 4th Kindle. I think 4 Kindles is where I can be pretty happy with all of my Kindles. The 4th one's going to deal 4 damage, and these can hit players, so they can add up quite a bit of damage. First one deals 2, then 3, 4, so on and so forth. I guess the last one actually deals 5 damage. It's 2 plus X, where X is the number of Kindles. And just a bunch of green cards here, plus another Kavu Climber seems fine. Alright, is this the pack we open? I think so. So, Skirk Commando or Sai of the Shinobi. I think Sai would actually be pretty decent, just making any creature you play come in automatically bigger. You don't have to pay the equip cost, plus when you have little creatures floating around, you like effects like this, but I'm going to take Skirk Commando. Play it as a morph, flip it up for 3, and deal 2 damage. I like that we have a lot of incidental damage in our deck, too. I don't know that I even need to play black if the rest of this works out. Doomsday. Another Skirk Commando. No, this is the pack we opened. Haunted Fengraf, return a random creature from my graveyard to my hand. I guess, again, if I was playing mono red, I would consider playing these two, plus a bunch of red sources. Ruthless Ripper can also deal a little bit of damage, but you need to be pretty heavy black for that to work out. Just take another Skirk Commando. And do I want another Trumpet Blast? Yeah, probably. I probably want that over Cinderstorm, which I'm not trying to play a deck that casts 7 drops here, so this isn't very reliable. This is probably better as a win con in like a blue-red deck that's looking to control the board and deal incidental damage. I'm just looking to go all in. I will take Humble Defector here. I guess Humble Defector actually works pretty nicely with Phyrexian Ghoul. You can tap it, put the trigger on the stack, and then sacrifice it. You can always even expend a Kindle on it if it means I'm going to be drawing 2 cards over 1. So yeah, I'll take Humble Defector over, say, Supernatural Stamina. Swiftfoot Boots, also a consideration there. Alright, let's pick up this Haunted Fengraf. Act of Treason seems like it's going to be better than another 4-drop in the deck. This can just let you get in for a turn, and I don't know what to really think of this. I guess it's good with Pyrehound, and it can definitely just let me bash in, but Active Treason kind of does that too. And Dark Ritual, Impastor. This is a 4-mana 3/3 that makes a 1/1. All right, on to the last pack of complete nonsense. Seeing a lot of the same cards. There's Ravenous Choops, which is always good, right? Triskaidekaphobia is very interesting when we have some of these ways to just kind of ping in small amounts of damage. Interesting. Although it does get worse with things like Lacerator, where we could actually tie to it too. Another Frenzied Goblin, just to make sure my opponent can never block, but I'm getting some of these red cards back, even if it's just a red Elemental Blast. Might be right to take Ravenous Chupacabra. Although it is double black, I'm going to be very heavy red, playing almost no black at all. I'm kind of interested in Triskaidekaphobia. And if I wanted to take a safe pick, it'd be Goblin or Skirk Commando. Well, we came here to draft sweet stuff, so let's draft sweet stuff. I think people just want to see people play this card anyway. Following that up, there is a Pillage here, Twisted Abomination, Spellbomb, Urg Raiders, and Perilous Mirror, Simian Spirit Guide. Might just take another Perilous Mirror here. More little creatures. I don't think Urg Raiders, it's a little oversized for a 2-drop, but I don't think it's going to be amazing. I could also take Pillage or Nihil Spellbomb for the board, and Cascade Bluffs does virtually nothing for me, so yeah, let's get in there. Let's get Perilous. Caustic Tar seems like a decent win condition. Bloodhunter Bat, Skirk Commando, or Jackal Pup. Do I want another Jackal Pup? Just another 1-mana 2/1 that makes me lose life whenever it dies? Or do I want a Bloodhunter Bat, which is a decent clock? Not a amazing one, but a decent little clock that also helps drain my opponent down. Because I think now I'm on this Triskaidekaphobia plan. I want to deal small amounts of damage to the opponent and then just drain him out with this. Kind of like the Bloodhunter Bat here. Adds a little bit more reach to the deck too by putting a flying creature in rather than a creature that gets brick-walled pretty quickly. Okay. So nothing basically. Another Skirk Commando over, say, a Myriad Landscape, which can fetch up either double black or double red, or another Phyrexian Ghoul. This card seems pretty subpar, even though I'm sure there are decks that work with it quite well. Nyx Fleece Ram will be quite annoying against Triskaidekaphobia. Also, just against the deck in general. I think here I'm going to opt to take just a creature. Skirk Commando's not that good that I feel like I need 3 of them, but, you know, it gets the job done. Undead Gladiator, discard a card, return this from your graveyard to your hand, but only during upkeep. Okay. So this type of creature you want to trade off or cycle a lot. Zombify just returns a creature from your graveyard to your hand. I take Skeleton Eyes here. Another removal spell. This one cannot hit a player, though. Maybe I want Urg Raiders, if that's the case. Although Skeleton Eyes does make a body, a regenerating body, just not a particularly good one. Could take Urg Raiders. Yeah, I'm going to take Skeleton Eyes. Why not? Another Humble Defector, Pillage, Frenzied Goblin, Active Treason, Ruthless Ripper. I do like Ruthless Ripper. But I also like Humble Defector. Humble Defector's sweet. Or I could just take another Frenzied Goblin. These guys do make it very hard for my opponent to block if I start landing little creatures. I think one Humble Defector is just fine. Active Treason. I don't want multiple Active Treasons, I don't think. Yeah, let's take another Frenzied Goblin. Let's just get in there. Strionic Resonator. This copies triggered abilities. So we can copy things like Triskaidekaphobia, Bloodhunter Bat. I can lose extra life off Vampire Lacerator. Extra counters. Extra discard. I guess it copies these Morph triggers. Perilous Mirror triggers. Eidolon triggers. Ire Shaman triggers. I guess this does enough that I'm willing to take it and see if it does something here over a Pillage, which would probably be in my sideboard. Yeah, let's do that. The fact that it doubles up on Perilous Mirror trigger seems pretty sweet as is. Sure, I'll take Cinderstorm. I'll take it. We are probably not playing this card. All right, so now we've got an option. Do we want the full play set of Frenzied Goblins? Again, just to make sure my opponent can never attack me. Or do we want just something like Red Elemental Blast, which is going to be extremely good against blue decks? I think we want a Red Elemental Blast. And sure, I'll take the foil. That doesn't matter. There's a Ruthless Ripper too, but now I'll take a Pillage over an Urg Raiders and just keep it in the sideboard against people who are either splashing or artifacts. I'll take Jackal Pup here. Caustic Tart actually seems like a good win condition for certain decks, and I think the one drop here with the triple Frenzied Goblin is going to be better than just a 4th Skirk Commando. Phyrexian Ghoul over borrowing 100,000 arrows. Probably not playing 2 of those. Urg Raider, Active Treason Pillage. And take another Pillage. Some artifacts you might really, really want to destroy. And last pick, Renewed Faith. All right, so we ended up in a very weird deck, for sure. We're going to have to cut some stuff. My initial reaction here is just to cut black altogether and play mono red, just to make mana easier. Although we have some neat combos with, like, the Phyrexian Ghouls work very well with the Perilous Mirrors, for example. Triskaidekaphobia seems good in the deck. There are people messaging me, and I don't know where they are. All right, so, geez, minus the lands, we have 35 playables. All right, Assembly Worker coming out. Let's see, if I cut all of the black, I do lose out on a potential win con in Triskaidekaphobia, which I think is super sweet, right? I kind of want to play this card. I have no mana fixin'. Skeleton Eye seems weak when I have Quadruple Kindle in my deck. How is Pyre Hound going to work out? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 instants or sorceries. I think this is going to be fine. Could see cutting 1 Skirk Commando. I kind of like all the 1-drops. They work better the more of them I have. Humble Defector could come out here. Strionic Resonator. I think Strionic Resonator does enough. Although it is pretty mana intensive. Does mean you have to have extra mana floating around. Kind of want to play Triskaidekaphobia though. So if I cut all the cute stuff, cut say Pyre Hound here, cut 1 Skirk Commando, and I play a deck that's like, I don't know, 16 lands. I mean, I curve out at 4. I could even get away with 15 if I want to be super greedy. I play something like 10 mountains and 4 swamps. Is 4 swamps enough for Triskaidekaphobia? Probably. And 12 mountains is certainly enough. See what that looks like real quick. I don't know whether to be confident in this deck or not. Oh, I cannot play that many swamps. So 12 mountains. Cut 1 more for another swamp. Huh. Is that enough to play Triskaidekaphobia? Probably just not reliably, considering I have no ways to like fetch up swamps or anything like that. But we're gonna roll with this. All right. Well, anyway, you guys tell me what you would have drafted. Again, I'm not familiar with a lot of these cards. I mean, I know them vaguely by looking at them, but we ended up with kind of a weird deck, and I didn't even really force it off Eidolon. You know, there were other picks in that first pack, but I like playing the rares and just seeing how they work out in context of the format. So I am going to run this Triskaidekaphobia because I think it's more fun, not necessarily because I think it's going to be fantastic in my deck or anything like that. And hopefully 11 mountains is enough to just hit our 1-drops on time. So this is what we're playing, whatever this is, whatever you want to call it. And I guess we'll move on from there. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the matches. Hey y'all, we are playing Masters 25 with a janky mono reddish deck. Hey, we have Triskaidekaphobia in a swamp and 5 lands. Although one of those lands is relevant It's probably a mulligan, but I'm going to keep off Triskaidekaphobia, and we are on the play. Yeah, this hand's bad, but I'm going to keep. I don't know really what else I'm expecting. Mulling down to 6 in a deck that needs drop. So, yeah, we'll just lead off with a mountain and pass. And see what we're up against is kind of the important thing. Not having a 1-drop seems pretty bad. And our opponent having an Arbor Elf seems pretty bad for us too. But we only need to get our opponent to 13. Which is pretty crucial there. Alright. Let's see what the opponent does here. Arbor Elf plus land. I mean, they're going to get ahead of us pretty far. I don't know how we're ever supposed to beat half the decks in this format. Especially if they have any semblance of life gain in the deck. And curve it into a 3-drop. Dauntless Cathar. Alright, that's pretty cool. When it dies, or while it's in the graveyard. Ugh. Alright, so we have nothing going on. You can exile this card from the graveyard to make a 1/1 spirit. I'm just going to not block here. Again, my goal is to try and get my opponent down to 13. So I need to draw some stuff. I mean, drawing 2 lands there pretty much made it so I don't know how I could ever win this match. With 7 of our first 9 cards being lands. Granted, one of them does something, but not something too great. And opponent curving perfectly. Each opponent may put a legendary creature card from his or her hand on the battlefield. Alright, well, losing this game. My opponent's just on the beatdown plan, and I can't do anything about it. Nope. I don't even think I have a way I can kill that. Now, what could work, if I draw Active Treason and hit with Iwamori or whatever, then that's something. Not going to block here. Not yet, at least. And another land. All right. Game 2 it is. There's nothing that can happen that game. Like, seriously. Yeah, just going to run it back. My opponent playing green stuff. I mean, that was a bad keep, and it turned into just drawing 3 lands. So there was no feasible way to win that match, even with Triskaidekaphobia. Well, this is better. Goblin, Goblin, Goblin. Perilous Myr. It's kind of what we want to be doing, right? Our opponent can definitely dish out more damage than us, but at least we can get around their blockers. Hopefully no turn 1 Arbor Elf here. Alright, we're just going to go, I think, double Frenzied Goblin here. Or no, I guess I'll go Perilous Myr. No, double Frenzied Goblin seems good. I have to say no every time here. Alright, so my opponent's pretty much never blocking this game. I just gotta hope that they can't race me somehow. And Timberpack Wolf. Okay. Ooh, Hordeling Outburst being a nice draw there. I'm going to wait a turn to play it, because I'm going to play Perilous Myr, attack with a Goblin, and make it so this can't block. In fact, we'll go ahead and do that now. Perilous Myr can trade for Timberpack Wolf if they play another one. So we're going to say this thing. Oh, I guess they all have to target. So I can say yes to the first one. And then say no to the rest. That's going to get annoying. Alright, all that to deal 3 damage and plop down a Perilous Myr. Hey, all we need really is a Trumpet Blast, and this game should be wrapped up pretty quickly. I don't think I'm blocking with Perilous Myr here. +1/+1 for each other creature you control named Timberpack Wolf. Alright, and they did have another Timberpack Wolf. Maybe I do trade here. Oh, my opponent didn't even attack, though. So now I can go land. I don't really know the tricks here. I guess there's some for green. Could attack with everything, get in for 4. use 2 mana to lock these 2 things down from blocking and play another Perilous Mer. I think that's probably right, rather than play Hordeling Outburst. Alright, so target that. I gotta make sure I keep up with which one's which. Alright, so this one is targeting the one on the right. I'm gonna say... Oh, I said no. Whoops. Alright, these are targeting, so I need to say yes to both of these. So yes, that one can't block, and yes, that one can't block. I should put my opponent down to 12 if there's no one green spell that I'm not thinking of. And Perilous Mer comes down. Say go. What a wonderful deck we've constructed. I can cast everything in my deck now. I could even play Triskaidekaphobia and pretty much win. Do I want to trade a Perilous Mirror here to try and take down a Timberpack Wolf? I will take 3 still, as opposed to having 5 on board. Yeah, you know what? I think I do. The less creatures they have, the better. This can deal 2 to a creature or player. I could also nug them for 2, but I think I just want to take out a wolf. Alright, and done with my turn. Hopefully they don't just jam 2 more. Ooh, Wild Heart Invoker. 8 mana to give +5/+5. So they have 6 on board. I'm going to hit them for another 4. Play Hordeling Outburst. And I only have to pay 1 red this time. I'm playing out my lands because it is beneficial to have the mana in case I want to cast something and use multiple Frenzied Goblin triggers. Sure. So here... God, this is super annoying. And here. Say okay. And I'll pay red on the first one and then no on the rest. Alright, let me just draw Trumpet Blast next turn. That would be dope. Or a way to deal just an extra little bit of damage. Kindle would be nice. I haven't drawn any Kindles. Ooh, red mana from the opponent. These are the type of formats where you tend to splash a lot. And I guess my opponent's considering, hey, look, I'm not blocking with any of my things, so I might as well be attacking with them. So I think I'm going to attack with everything but Perilous Mer next turn. See what they play first, though. Watch Wolf. Vanilla 3/3 for 2. Mog Flunkies. I guess that's decent. So I'm going to attack with everything that's not a Perilous Mer. I don't know if there's a way for them to untap a creature, but I'm not too worried about that. Because if all these other creatures get in and I put them down to 2, then they got to be very careful about killing Perilous Mer. So these are going to attack. And if they want to be super tricky, I'll just target each of these. I'm not going to... I guess I can pay for all of them. I don't know if there's any mana leak effects I have to watch out for in Naya colors. I'm just going to say yes to everything on account that if they have a way to untap a creature, I get kind of owned by it. So should put the opponent down to 2. If they have a removal spell, they could just expend it now. This does give creatures trample. Alright, they're at 2. Alright, let's see what they can muster up. So a Board Wrath won't do it because of Perilous Mer. Kindle seems like it's going to be great against this opponent. They have a bunch of 3 toughness creatures, so if I can get 1 Kindle off, all the rest will take pretty much anything out. Just going to block with both my guys. And if Perilous Mer dies, then GG. It's assuming they can't gain life, of course. They could just be playing like the random cycle or whatever. Mog Flunkies will go ahead and block here, I think. Do something like that. I'm going to target them with Perilous Mer. And let's see if they can gain life. No. Alright, so triple Frenzied Goblin got there. And we know a little bit more about their deck. We do know they're splashing a card, but they're not playing blue here. Urgrader seems really bad. Bloodhunter Bat could be okay, especially if we end up racing or something like that. Kind of like that. The 5/5's fine. I didn't see any removal from the opponent. Skeletonized does deal with all of their creatures, so I guess we're up in the mana here. So I think what I'm going to do here is just not be cute with the Haunted Fengraf. Since I'm adding in another black card, add in another Swamp. Keep Mishra's Factory, and cut down on 2 cards that may not seem great. And keeping in mind that I'm on the draw this time. I guess on the draw I'm going to cut 1 Trumpet Blast. And maybe a Skirk Commando? Nah, I like Skirk Commando. Maybe Humble Defector. I don't really want to use my own removal to kill Humble Defector. Although it does draw me 2 cards, and I have no other draw in the deck, so maybe a Jackal Pup comes out on the draw. I still want a critical mass of 1-drops, though. Frenzied Goblin is pretty much better than Jackal Pup in most situations, though. Yeah, I'm going to cut all Humble Defector here. Just to add a tiny little bit more reach to my deck and another removal spell. This hand might be too slow, but we are on the draw with the 5-lander this time. Ooh, can I deal 7 damage to them is the question, when Hordeling Outburst is my first play. You know what? I'm in it. The opponent's going down to 6. I'm in it. We'll just draw 1-drops. That's what we'll do. Draw Kindles. Opponent's keeping 6 and scrying to the bottom. Yes, no Arbor Elf. That's what I like to see. Alright, Eidolon of the Great Revel is actually fine. That should nug them for a little bit of damage early on. And it can attack if they don't play anything. Well, if they have a Timber Pack, that's fine. Alright, what I don't want to see is any lands at all. Keep in mind, I'm going to take damage off my Eidolon too. But that's kind of the game you play with Eidolon. Could just block with it as well, but I think I want to get some damage rolling on him. Not blocking, not blocking. And they didn't have a 3-drop. I like Trumpet Blast with Hordeling Outburst. I like that a lot. Let's attack first, because if they do kill Eidolon, I'd like for them to do it mid-combat so I can cast Hordeling Outburst without taking damage. Somebody needs help. Miss Hawk. Miss Hawk was sorry, that's an old friend of mine. Miss Hawk is my old English teacher. You guys get a little bit of insight into my life here while also getting beat down by Timberpack Wolf. Oh, if I can just get in a little bit more damage and wrap things up with Triskaidekaphobia, I'll be super happy. But I also have to not die in the process. Ooh, no attack is nice. Alright, so let me think here for a second. If I attack with everything, they block 2 creatures. And I Trumpet Blast, that puts them down to 12. Ooh, this is tricky. This is tricky. The problem is they can always change their own life total with Eidolon as well. I don't have good attacks here. I don't really have attacks at all. Jeez. I could go Frenzied Goblin and just wait a turn and try to Trumpet Blast them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stop a blocker. 7, 8, 6 plus 10 is 16. If they nug themselves and they make a bad attack and I can just get through their blockers, Then I get to kill them. Or I could Triskaidekaphobia and just start gaining a little bit of life. If I do this turn, no, I think I'm just going to play Frenzied Goblin here and hope maybe they play into Trumpet Blast. I don't have good attacks is the problem. I could make an attack in Trumpet Blast and just trade some guys off, which is what I might end up doing anyway. Sorry for the side conversation going on. Prophetic Prism. I don't mind them taking 2 to fix their mana. It does draw them another card. Calm down. So they have a red splash for something that we don't know about. Let's see if they attack. No attack. All right. Ooh, another Frenzy Goblin is fine. So here, I think I'm just going to play another Frenzied Goblin and then look to try and Trumpet Blast them out of the game. Not make any hasty attacks, not even play Triskaidekaphobia here. Mostly because I'll die to it now. I'm killing myself, mostly. They got 1 attack on me, and I dealt 6 damage to myself. Triskaidekaphobia is sweet. It can deal 1 extra damage next turn, which might be relevant. It also doesn't ding me, and I'm not doing anything else, so... yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. It does mean my opponent might be wary of casting a spell as well, since Eidolon will nug them. And if they go to 14, I mean, they can't cast a single spell that costs 3 or less, otherwise I put them to 13, right? Or is it drain a life? No, they lose a life. Oh, wait. No, the loss triggers first, then it's life gain or life loss. So I could put them to 13 next turn if they cast a spell that hits them with Eidolon, but they won't actually lose the game to Triskaidekaphobia until the turn after, and they can actually use my Eidolon to kind of help get around that. So they got to be very careful about what they do here, especially with me having 2 Frenzied Goblins. They don't know about this Trumpet Blast. I could just win the game next turn. I need them basically to not be able to block 5 of my creatures or interact with them. Or do I only need to get 4 through? If I get 4 1/1s through, this is 12 damage, 13 damage. No, that's not quite going to be enough. I'll probably die on the swing back if I make a really bad attack. Nothing from the opponent. Not quite up to 8 mana yet either. Looks like they're strongly considering taking some damage off Triskaidekaphobia. They're probably rereading it just like I am. Swords to Plowshare is my Eidolon. Oh no, Swords to Plowshare is a Goblin token? So they're going to put me to 13. Oh, that's really funny. I can cast Trumpet Blast on my upkeep in response to this trigger, though, to kind of deal myself 2 damage. Nicely done. I won't lose to my own thing. I don't get to just kill him with Trumpet Blast this turn, though. So I guess I have to put this on the stack first. Oh, I choose a mode. So I want each player to lose a life here, right? That'll put my opponent at 13. And then I just want to cast Trumpet Blast in response. Trumpet Blast won't do anything. Actually, it'll make me take 2 damage. Oh no, I don't want to F6. What nonsense. I do not want to always yield to that either. I could just make my opponent damage themselves. That seems fine. They have to have something now, otherwise they die. So what they can do is they can play into Eidolon just to nug themselves down a little bit more. It kind of sucks that I had to play out my own Trumpet Blast, but it is what it is. Basically, they just need a spell that costs 3 or less, or a way to gain or damage themselves. And then they'll die to Triskaidekaphobia. Sure. So they are going to take 2 here, down to 11. Opponent is also 1 mana away from Activate and Wildheart Invoker. So a removal spell would be great, considering I haven't drawn any in these 3 games, but game 1 didn't really matter, right? and Iwamari. Alright, so opponent just went off on us. I think we're going to lose this game now. I just need them to not have a cheap spell in hand, but it looks like they were debating that Nettle Sentinel last turn anyway. Kind of sucks I had the Trumpet Blast, but I had to use it to keep myself from dying to my own card. Alright, yeah, and I'm going to lose to this Invoker, I think. So I guess I want us to gain a life. Yep. No, no auto yields to that. Perilous Myrrh is actually not terrible. I have no attacks, though. That's kind of a problem. I have to stay alive for 2 turns without my opponent drawing a card that kills me, so I think I'm just dead here. If they attack with everything, I'm in quite a bit of trouble. I guess I can make some blocks and not die this coming up turn, but I can't really kill them on the swing back, especially if I'm losing my board. And they could also just not have an 8th land. This doesn't tap for mana, it filters mana. So if they attack with just like this 5/5 trample, I might throw like Perilous Myrrh and Eidolon in front of it, and then just let Perilous Myrrh. I actually want to get this Eidolon off board so that I can use Triskaidekaphobia as a possible out. They have 1 in hand. It's either a land which unlocks this Invoker, or a spell that they can cast, which is also bad. So what I need them to do is have a spell that doesn't matter, make an attack so that I can get rid of Eidolon, and survive through the next turn for Triskaidekaphobia to work. And Perilous Myrrh will probably just take down a creature here if I end up blocking. I don't want to nug them because I think my out to win in is using Triskaidekaphobia. So let's see if they attack first. They do send Iwamori in of the Open Fist. Alright, so I think I want to block as such. And take 2 damage, nug this for the other 2 with Perilous Myrrh. Something like Skeletonize would be fantastic to get rid of this Invoker. Just anything to deal with this Invoker would be great. Chandra's Outrage would be annoying because it actually hits them. Alright, let's see if we can take out Iwamori here. Alright, and I have to survive through next turn. They certainly have a spell in hand, otherwise they probably would have played a land and attacked with everything. Put me in a position where I basically die to Invoker. It's kind of where I'm already at. I mean, I guess I avoided dying. They did waste a Swords to Plowshares on a Goblin token to try and kill me. Rather than taking out, say, the Eidolon or something like that. But I'm gaining them life now. So we want to gain a life. They didn't cast anything either. Alright, this puts me to 8 and my opponent to 13. Ooh, drawing a land there was very bad. I need them to not have an 8th land here, otherwise I'm pretty sure they can kill me. Like, they can make this a 9/9 trample, put 2 creatures in front of it. I take 7 and then block. Actually, maybe I'm not dead. If they have the land. Actually, if they have a land and they activate, I think I can actually survive at 1. So what could happen is, if they have the 8th land, Epic Confrontation. Alright, well I'm not dying to trample, I don't think. This thing doesn't trample on its own. Assume they're just attacking with everything. I'm going to block 2 creatures, not block the other one. I'm definitely going to block here. I think I'm supposed to just block everything. This is a 5/5. If they can give it trample and plus, I don't know what, +4, then they kill me. If not, and they have nothing, then I get to Trisk them. Promise of Bonray. So each player with exactly 13 loses a game and then gain a life. Did we get there? Oh, man. What nonsense. All right, cool. We got it. Nice job. Against, I don't even, like, you can see this isn't even an archetype. It's just green-white stuff, and my deck's just red stuff. That was awesome. All right, I don't care what else happens this match. We got it. We got Trisk. All right, see y'all in match 2. All right, welcome back. We're in match 2. Let's see if we can draw some removal spells this time. We do have removal spells. Another 5-lander? Are you serious? I mean, we have Jackal Pup, right? Good luck, have fun. You too. I guess if I can keep a land in hand and Balduvian Horde. This is just such a bad curve, Jackal Pup into Horde, but I'm going to keep. And probably concede early like I did in the first match. Well, at least we're probably due to get some damage in here unless my opponent just bolts us. That'd be kind of gross. Yeah, nothing. Get in there, pup. Our Skirk Commando's not bad. I'm actually going to play Mishra's Factory. Since that can start dealing damage next turn if that's what I feel like I have to do. And just pass it back. So now having a 3-drop into a 4-drop's fine. It's going to be very awkward if we draw just straight spells, though. Oh, Mountain Cyclone. Okay, so opponent's Temur colors. Probably morphs, I assume. There are a lot of morphs in this set. What am I doing with my turn? I assume I'm just playing Skirk Commando. I could get in 2 with the Mishra's Factory, but then I'm not playing anything from my hand. I'm just going to attack and play a morph. My opponents, if they're keen on the morphs in the set, they're going to probably guess it's Skirk Commando. Which, by the way, if you intend on drafting this set in person, one of the things I would recommend is make sure you know the morphs in the set for the given color pairs. Like, I don't know them. I could pull up, Mythic Spoiler or something like that right now. But knowing the morphs is going to go a long way towards making sure you don't get completely blown out. Ooh, Fierce Empath. This lets them go get something that costs 6 or greater from their deck. Neat. They got the card with the similar art. All right, so could play Balduvian Horde this turn. I don't want to trade Jackal Pup here. I guess I can just shoot this for 2 and put my opponent down to 12 this turn. Or I could play Balduvian Horde and guarantee that it's just going to hit a thing. Hit a whatchamacallit? What am I trying to say? A land? That actually seems fine. My opponent's not casting this Aberration. I doubt they're Forest Cycling it. That wasn't the scariest thing they could have gotten off of Fierce Empath. Could also just attack here and let them trade off Jackal Pup. Keep my morph available for next turn. I mean, it's not very likely they don't play another creature next turn, so I don't know. It's kind of tough. I think I just want to, let's trade off Jackal Pup here. I'll take a damage in the process. I'll lose 2 points of damage, but I won't have to use Skirk Commando on this 1/1, and I can use my turn playing Balduvian Horde. So that works out pretty nicely for the opponent. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I guess I have the option to not do that. 5/5 Beater's pretty strong here. Let's see what they've got to follow up with. Oh, ooh, they might be some weird Live in Death deck. They got just a bunch of cyclers into Dusk Legion Zealot. I kind of like where this is going. Frenzied Goblin's nice. If they have Live in Death, then that's gonna, I'm just gonna lose to that, but it is what it is. So this turn I can, I can activate Mishra's Factory and just attack with everything, and then play Frenzied Goblin. Since he only has a 1/1, he can't really block. He might just block Balduvian Horde to prevent some damage, especially if they're a Live in Death deck. And I don't get to keep up this activation, however. And let's just hope they don't have Live in Death in their hand. Yep, that makes sense. Play Frenzied Goblin, make their blocks worse next turn. Maybe they're also just like a 5-color Abomination with Mana Fixin', but nice, we got them, cool. So they're kind of a more expensive deck, but this screams Living Death. You cycle a bunch of creatures away, and then you look to reanimate a bunch of them. Or they could just be, there are other reanimate spells like Zombify and stuff like that. Does this exile? It doesn't exile. Pillage actually seems decent against a player who's using things for mana fixing. Kind of like our matchup more this time around, although we didn't see a Live and Death. Skirk Commando seems probably a little bit better here than some of these high drop cards, but it also seems not necessary. Again, Trumpet Blast is not insane on the draw, where you're often just crawling back into it, but I kind of like it, so Urg Raiders maybe is fine here. Just bring in another, we'll just keep it as is. What did I take out? Trumpet Blast? Yeah. I'm going to need to kill my opponent quick if they're on a plan of trying to reanimate big creatures, right? So I'm going to need, like, Frenzied Goblins to get through this game. No Kindles. Do I have Kindles in my deck? Did I cut them from my deck? Fire Shaman's nice here. Opponent's going down to 6. I do like that. And they did scry on top, however. And, oh, hey, we do have Kindles in our deck. Not having a 1-drop there kind of hurts, but also not really that much. All right. Zealots. Haunted Fengraf. No reason to play that yet. Just going to go ahead and play out Perilous Mirror. And next turn, interesting choice as to which one I play. Mishra's Factory. Dramatic's a word for it. Could play this out as a 2-1 menace, but kind of like playing the Skirk Commando. Am I willing to make this trade here? Not really, I don't suppose. So I think I'm just going to play Skirk Commando face down. Oh, by the way, I didn't have to show my opponent any morphs last game. I mean, I did play the morph, but they do reveal at the end of the game. So if my opponent saw it, they know I have Skirk Commando in the deck. They don't know about Ire Shaman. They did just disfigure my thing anyway. Nah, I'm just gonna pass here. Disfigure takes out majority of my deck as is. -2/-2 for 1 black. And Cycling Shoreline Ranger. So yeah, my opponent's just 5-color deck. Why did Shoreline Ranger get new art? Something that dies to Kindle, please. Regrowth. Regrowth back a Cycler. Okay. I do think our deck's going to be good against them on the play, but Humble Defector with Kindle? Hot darn. Alright, so I could play Balduvian Horde and just get the 5/5 beats going here. I'm going to randomly lose a card from my hand. I'm fine losing Humble Defector or Fengraf. I'd prefer not to lose Kindle, although Kindle does get better if I draw more Kindles. I could also play Ire Shaman, but I want to use my mana pretty efficiently here, so I think I'm going to just play Balduvian Horde and see what I discard. We discarded Kindle. Okay, so we discarded our only removal, but I think that's going to be okay. If my opponent's plan is just to start dropping these creatures, then 5/5 shapes up pretty well against most of them. Haven't seen planes from the opponent yet, though. Do see a morph, though. Do see a morph. A lot of different things this could be. For 2 mana, it could be Willbender. It could also be the 0/6 that they reveal a blue card from their hand to transform it. Could just be a million things. I think I'm going to jam both my creatures in, and if they block Perilous Mirror, just target their morph. I don't think I need to activate Mishra's Factory here. Haunted Fengraf gets back Skirk Commando as well, but I think I want to play Ire Shaman plus Humble Defector this turn. So I think I'm going to attack first, just see what happens. If they kill this somehow, then fine. Like if they have the 0/6 or the 1/1 Death Touch as their morph, then, you know, that's fine and all. Alright, this looks like something that's possibly trading. Vesuvian Shapeshifter. Alright, so 5/5 trading for a 5/5. I guess that's an even trade. I think Humble Defector is actually going to be quite fine this game now. So since I'm not using Fengraf, I'm not going to play it here. cast face down. And I would love to draw a removal spell for my own Humble Defector before I go drawing my opponent into 2 extra cards, but we'll see. Ooh, Grenzo for 4. That's interesting. Trumpet Blast is nice as well. Oh, right. Grenzo's a 2/2. Ugh. That's pretty strong. So let's go ahead and Megamorph this thing. We drew a Kindle. We can cast that till end of turn. Maybe what I want to do is activate Humble Defector. Do I have to cast it right away? Yeah, until end of turn. I can activate Humble Defector just to draw 2 cards, cast Kindle on it, or I could cast Kindle on them. I get in 6 damage this turn if I do that. If I activate Mishra's Factory and attack with everything, I get in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage this turn. It's tempting to Kindle them. I could also trade Humble Defector, Kindle, and Trumpet Blast for Grenzo. I don't know that that's the best thing to do. Haunted Fengraf actually seems like it'll be decent here. Grenzo could just give them, like, free creatures. This is kind of complicated. I think I'm going to activate Humble Defector and see what I get, though. Sure, and just commit into possibly Kindle in this Humble Defector. Is it target player draw? Oh no, target opponent. Alright, you can have my Humble Defector. And yeah, we'll Kindle. Fine. Can always get it back with Haunted Fengraf, although I guess that gets a creature randomly. Be fine with any of these. Maybe not Valduvian Horde. Ooh, we drew a Kindle anyway. So I could go shoot, and just kill that off. And then if my opponent wants to activate Humble Defector, then I do get to draw 2 more cards off of it, right? Also, I could Kindle them down to, let's see, the first one deals 3, second one deals 4, down to 10, and put them down to 7 with Ire Shaman. This is kind of tough. Do I want to expend 2 Kindles on Grenzo and let them use Humble Defector, or do I want to Kindle Humble Defector plus Kindle them? Or do I want to do anything at all? I think I actually want them to give me Humble Defector deck, so I think I'm going to go ahead and attack here. Do I have enough mana to activate my... If I use 1 mana to activate this and attack with... No, I don't. So I don't get to attack with Mishra's Factory this turn either. Letting my opponent draw 2 cards is dangerous, but 2 for 1 in myself just to do pure damage is also quite bad. So I'm just going to take that stop back off. Get in for 3 with Menace. And just Kindle Grenzo out of here. 6/6 pretty big. Alright, Kindle Grenzo. Kindle Grenzo. If I draw any more Kindles, they are going to be 5 points of burn damage. See if they activate Humble Defector. That would be amazing. I forgot Grenzo was a 2/2 on its base. Ooh, they did activate. Cool. So they did draw 2 extra cards this turn, but judging by their deck... Oh, another Disfigure? Oh, did they regrowth Disfigure? Oh, they killed Humble Defector. Okay. Woolly Loxodon. Nice. Ooh, Frenzied Goblin is nice. Haunted Fengraf can come down. I think I'm going to activate this now. 1, 2, 3. I can trade... Yeah, you know what? I don't actually mind trading Ire Shaman for both these creatures. I'd rather not have this Woolly Loxodon flip on me. I'm going to put the Morph first. I'm doing this before combat because there is a chance I just want to get that Ire Shaman back. 1, 2, 3. We got Balduvian Horde back, so the one creature I could not cast this turn. That's not great, but Frenzied Goblin's going to be good here. Treasure Keeper. When it dies, you basically cascade into a 3-drop or less. Well, it's nice that I can attack into that. I think I'm going to play... Oh, if I play Balduvian Horde... let's just activate here. And something tells me my opponent's not going to kill any of my creatures, but if they do, that's okay. Yeah, I'm not going to play Balduvian Horde, just going to play Jackal Pup. Stop this thing from blocking. My opponent's deck is weird. We got him down to 11. Well, they have a removal spell of some sort in their hand. Nope, they're just Cyclone and Abomination. I still feel like a Live and Death is coming my way. So we know they have Swamp. Now we don't know they have Swamp. Pernicious Deed. Well, that's pretty gross. They can sack it for 1 to destroy all my creatures. They could also sack it for 4 and destroy their own Treasure Keeper. Is this destroy artifact, creature, and enchantment? So this will get my Mishra's Factory if I animate it. Kind of gross, so I'm going to go ahead and just make my attack here and see if they want to pop Deed. They can let me spend the mana first if that's what they want to do. And if not, like, we just get in a little bit more damage. All right, opponent's taking some damage. I don't think I want to commit anything else to the board here. They do at end of turn, they just took 3 free damage essentially. Again, they have the option of doing it for 4. I don't know, are they planning on hitting a 3-drop that's better? Oh, they are going to do it for 4. So do they anticipate that the card they're going to hit off Treasure Keeper is actually better than the Treasure Keeper itself? Cultivate. Okay, cool. Cultivate's fine, but now they have no pressure on board. Alright, so 2 unknowns in hand. Elvish Abomination. 4/5 coming in. 5/5 matches up well against that. Alright, so do I want to go for Balduvian Horde here? Kind of fine with it discarding anything. I'd rather it not discard Skirk Commando. But it is pretty big against their 1 card, right? So let's go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just see what it discards. I guess I'd be fine with it getting rid of Trumpet Blast here. Yes. Alright, well, we got rid of Skirk Commando. And we'll just pass. Now they can deal with that. They've got a pretty surefire way of just clocking me for 5 turns. This mana base is pretty intense. My kind of deck. Pernicious Deed is a rare in this set, not a mythic rare. I think it was printed in the first Conspiracy set, where it was, in fact, a mythic rare. Kindle would be a great draw, just 2 mana to kill this Elvish Aberration. Opponent's thinking about something, so they must have something they can do this turn, otherwise they just pass and don't do anything. If Aberration attacks, I'm not blocking. I do like the this symmetry between the art on Elvish Aberration and the art on Fierce Empath. Same artist got commissioned to do the art on both of these, and there's a consistency in the art. I really like when they do stuff like that in Magic. Looks like they're part of the same story, more or less. Ooh, Hordeling Outburst and Trumpet Blast is great. So they thought about their turn for a while. I'm just going to jam with this 5/5. And if they have a trick, that's fine. uses the last card in their hand. I don't know if there's some flash creature I should be watching out for, but I'm jamming with my 5/5 into your 4/5. You just take it. All right, Hordeling Outburst coming down. Now we're in a pretty good position. I just need to get one creature through next turn, and we got it. Didn't even have to show them it. So interesting. They might have had Live and Death. It just looked like they had, Cyclers. That was it. But I might have missed out on it. I should have actually asked them, do you have Live and Death? But anyway, we got there, and we're on to the finals. Let's go. All right, we're in the finals of this Masters 25 draft. Let's see if we can get spells and removal. Hey, this looks like a good opening hand. Could use one or two more creatures to cast in the early game, but having 3 lands is nice. Trumpet Blast is fine, and Kindle should let us get through with this. Jackal Pup, plus we're on the play. We get to play Jackal Pup on turn 1. Coming down. Hopefully Pup gets in a couple hits before it becomes irrelevant, which it often does. Oh no, against red. Ooh, Perilous Mer was actually a pretty good draw there. Have you a Bolt? Nope. Cool. Drawing a 3-drop would be great. 3-drop into land would be like probably the best draws. They do have a Bolt, but they took the damage first. Interesting. Red-white. Angelic Page. Target attacking or blocking creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Okay. I could jam into that. Lose my guy. I could Kindle it, but that doesn't seem that great. I think I'm just going to attack into it. I don't think they're going to block. And if they do, then cool. I nug them for 2. And we'll just pass here. See what they play. Hopefully it's something that dies to 2 damage. If not, I'll probably just Kindle this Angelic Page on end step because I'd rather use it than accidentally discard it to Balduvian Horde. Ooh, Simian Spirit Guide hitting Exile for Brian Stoutarm. 4/4 lifelink. Not sure how I'm supposed to beat that card, but it is a thing. And Angelic Page is attacking. And another Kindle? No. Alright, so I am going to attack Perilous Mer into Brian Stoutarm, and if they attack, I'm just going to Kindle this thing. Could also play Balduvian Horde. Power to target player. Yeah, Brian Stoutarm is something else, right? Could also just hold back on blocks, but then I don't play anything this turn. I need to get this off board as quick as possible. They can make it a 5/5 lifelinker, essentially. Balduvian Horde, I don't really want to get rid of any of these cards is the problem. Maybe I just play Hordeling Outburst here. I think my goal should be to remove this from the battlefield. So maybe Balduvian Horde is the best thing to play here. And if it gets rid of Trumpet Blast, that's probably ideal. If it gets rid of either of the other 2 cards, it's not very good. Could also attack with Perilous Mer and see if they're willing to make that trade. If not, I play Balduvian Horde. Sure. Alright, let's see if they want to go ahead and block. They do not, as expected. Alright, the Horde will come down, and if they have active aggression or something to steal Balduvian Horde, I get completely destroyed because then they can fling it at me with Brian. I did lose Kindle. That's not great. So if they attack with this, I'm blocking, but I don't have much else I can do, so that'll just have to be what I do. Yeah, they've got something. But I can't sit around and let them just hit me for 4. I can't win that race, so I got to do my best to try and get it off the board. Uncaged Fury. Alright, so they gave it +1/+1 in Double Strike. They should have probably given it another +1, I assume. Oh man, I wish I had Kindle. There's another card from their hand. Alright, I think I'm going to go just Hordeling Outburst here. It's basically the same as Mog Flunkies. and pass the turn. Alright, so opponent on 3 cards in hand with an essential 5/5 lifelinker coming in. Promise of Boonray. Okay. So that can make some spirit tokens. So now they're going to send in. Oh no, you know what they might do is just attack me for 1 and sack this to make some 4/1/1s. That seems pretty sweet. Don't know how I'm beating that. Ooh, active treason? That could do it, right? This can't sacrifice itself. Okay, well, that's worth knowing about. Yeah, they're going to sacrifice Angelic Page on end step, I believe. Make 4/1/1s and just start destroying me. Maybe I can get him, if I draw lands, maybe I can get him with like Active Treason plus Trumpet Blast or something along those lines. For right now, I've just got to pass. They did not sack on end step. Maybe they have a creature, a way to steal one of my creatures. Do I try to get this off board again and look to just race this promise? I can block with Perilous Myr plus 1 token and then deal 2 damage to it. Then I gotta fight through some 1/1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not enough. I gotta. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I gotta put another thing in front of it. This makes Trumpet Blast worse, so maybe I go Mog Fanatics plus Perilous Myr. That forces them to use that here. This is assuming their last card in hand doesn't matter. And if it is something that matters, then I'm in pretty bad spot anyway. Alright, are going to give it the +1. And here comes Promise. Alright, so this is not good for me. Oh, they don't fly. Ah, and Chartooth Cougar. Gross. Alright, this is going to be a huge uphill battle. Me not having creatures is not going to be good. So if I can deal with Chartooth Cougar, I feel a little better because I don't mind trading off some things here. So I think what I'm going to do is just take the hit from Chartooth Cougar this turn, trade off a couple of these things. Just leave it like that for now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage coming in this turn. Yeah, this is bad. I need like Chandra's Outrage for Chartooth Cougar now. Not another Trumpet Blast. I think that's going to be game. I can block and take 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have nothing in my deck that can get me back from this situation, so I guess I'll see if they want to show me one more card. I'm just not going to play anything here. Yeah, Brian really wrecked me that game. But, I don't know, we can beat this. We can beat this. We just got to have a slightly quicker draw than what they had. I'm just going to let him kill me. I'm not even going to block there. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Alright, yep, make it 6. Yep. Alright, nice. Alright, so let's see what we can do about this. Again, Red Elemental Blast not doing too much. Skeleton Eye is kind of sad, actually. Skirk Commandos. Pillages don't seem very good. Phyrexian Ghouls, kind of okay, actually. Strionic Resonator? I guess that does turn Skirk Commando into a kill target Brian Stoutarm. Kind of sad that we didn't get a use for these Red Elemental Blasts at all. Ugh, just not having a way to deal with that is pretty bad. But I think I just need more creatures here overall. No, I'm going to keep the deck as is this time, and then we'll board differently if we're on the draw against this opponent. Just hope to fog their lifelinker. This hand is kind of poor. Just, again, not having enough early game creatures, but it does have the Triskaidekaphobia plan. Unfortunately, I need to draw into spells plus creatures. I think I'm still just going to keep it and see if we get owned by this opponent, who is mulliganing down to 6 and scrying to the top. Not quite what I want to see. Most of my draws are good from the position I'm in right now. Like, lands are fine. Get some early damage in with this Eidolon. They do have Simian Spirit Guide in their hands, so they're going pretty deep here. Like, they can power something out a lot quicker than us with that Simian Spirit Guide. Though it doesn't look like they have red. They could be disguising that. Not having any plays on turn 1 or turn 3 does mean I'm going to fall behind pretty quickly here. I'm just not applying enough pressure. I guess I actually won't auto-yield. It's possible I want to kindle something on instep. Yep, there's Simian Spirit Guide. Do they just have Brian again? Oh, Kong Ming. Well, I can actually kindle that. Other creatures get +1/+1. Yeah, we're just going to take this thing out and pass. Nug myself off of the Eidolon. And Swamp would have been fantastic there just to get this rolling. But the fact that they're playing red and they have bolts and stuff like that does mean that they can get around Triskaidekaphobia pretty easily by shooting themselves sometimes. Also, Eidolon does not work well with Triskaidekaphobia because just like you saw in the first game, you can get around it yourself by casting spells into Eidolon. Alright, Skirk Commando. Hopefully get to take something out here. They did use the Simian Spirit Guide to get Kong Ming out. Oh, and throw in Victor. They're probably going to take the Morph just to see what it is. Alright, so I'm going to take 2, but Skirk Commando can flip up and destroy and throw in Victor, which is nice. This thing takes a creature power 2 or less until end of turn, so it's an active treason on a 2-drop or less. And my Morph does have 2. Opponents in hand seems like it's pretty expensive. Also, this is a combo with Brian. Not a bad draw there, but I think I'm going to spend this turn to just get rid of Enthrall Victor and swing for 4. Yeah. Oh, it's whenever it deals combat damage to a player. It's not when it morphs. Okay. Well, now they're going to block that anyway. They knew what it was, so. Oh, neat. My opponent just let me keep a creature on board. Alright, I didn't realize I should read the cards, especially these cards I'm not super familiar with. My opponent saw it too. Maybe they misread it as well. Although, I mean, they should have just traded there, and that would have been fine. Bolting Eidolon. Alright, so taking 2 to get Eidolon off board. I wonder if that means they just don't have anything, or they want to cast out spells without taking damage. That makes sense. They're going to offer this trade here as well. Ooh, you know what I could do? I could play Active Treason on this. That player controls. Never mind, I can't do that. I can, however, play this and morph Frenzied Goblin. And Frenzied Goblin does make Skirk Commando pretty good. I could also just offer this trade, but I don't think that's what I want to do. So I'm going to cast a Morph and Frenzied Goblin and just pass the turn. Not attack with Skirk Commando this time. Unfortunately, I can't Active Treason a creature and then kill it off if I hit with Skirk Commando because it only deals damage to creatures controlled by the player I hit. Ordeal of Heliod. Alright, getting in there. So they have a way to deal with Skirk Commando, I assume? Ooh, Active Treason is good against Ordeals. I can take it right before it's about to pop. Alright, so here, plays pretty simple. Actually, can I kill them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Say this can't block. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I can actually just win this turn with Trumpet Blast. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I'm not going to show my Morph either. I just have to make it so that this thing can't block. Say okay. Geez, Frenzied Goblin's really annoying to use online, isn't it? And then cast Trumpet Blast, and that should do it. Did they? Oh, they conceded very quickly there. Kind of like the Skirk Commander a little bit more now that I know what it does. I just assumed it morphed, dealt 2 damage, but that is not what that says. Trumpet Blast can come out. Now, especially now that they know about it, they can play around it better, so I like having 1 over 2. Yeah, and I'll bring in another Skirk Commando. I could take in Bloodhunter Bat, Phyrexian Ghoul, or Graders. Yeah, some of these other cards seem a little weak in comparison. How does Unearth feel to me? Just get a creature back from my graveyard? Seems okay, but not great. Yeah, I kind of like this Skirk Commando. I'm glad I'm doing that now, making that mistake. I don't like being on the draw, though. Sure, this seems fine. So the Commando forces trades a little bit more often now that I know about it. I don't know that I want to draw 3 in my opening hand, but let's see what happens here. Alright, Angelic Page. Just play out red sources for now. I don't think I'm going to be giving them a Humble Defector anytime soon. I guess that works with Skirk Commando, though. Probably just going to play these Commandos face up, to be honest, so that I can start chaining them together. I'll take the hit. We have drawn a lot of lands very light on interaction. Ooh, Mogfunkies. That can't attack or block this turn. So I think it's worth just getting in with Humble Defector. I don't think I'm getting Swords to Plowshares here, and this thing isn't blocking anyway, so. Ba-boom. Alright, let's get Skirky. Again, if I cast this and try to morph it next turn, then I'm basically just using 2 turns to get this thing, when my opponent already probably very likely is going to guess that it's Skirk Commando since they didn't see my other morph anyway. But let's see what they do. Kongming. Alright, it's pretty good. Get the beats going. Nice. So now what I can do is I can cast Act of Treason and take Mogfunkies. I can attack with basically everything, and they either trade Kongming for Skirk Commando or they just take 2 and I get to take out Kongming anyway. So I'm offering that trade. The way that goes wrong is I could also just hold this for a turn and try to really get my opponent with this Act of Treason and these Skirk Commandos, though. Humble Defector. Oh, I guess I can actually just attack with Skirk Commando. And if they don't block, I get to take out Kongming anyway. I'm taking a lot of damage, though. So I assume these are just going to trade, unless my opponent makes the same mistake as last time. So Kongming basically functioned. I mean, it removed a creature, so it was good. Trying to leverage Act of Treason as best I can here, without coming too close to just dying. Do I want to try and double block? No, I don't think so. That seems pretty bad. Gotta watch out for Uncaged Fury too. Griffin Protector. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Alright, this is a little bit too many lands now. So, if I take Griffin Protector with Act of Treason and attack with everything, it doesn't go too well. I don't like where this game is going right now. Bye-bye. Huh. Might just be right to play another Skirk Commando and like block with Humble Defector or something like that. That seems pretty bad. 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7 damage coming in. Yeah, I'm in a lot of trouble. Could draw with Humble Defector and see what I get. Problem there is just giving them another creature. If I would draw like double Kindle, that would be great, right? I think that might be my best bet here, is to just draw. I draw a single Kindle, then I can shoot this. This is not good for me. I kind of need to get rid of Mog Flunkies, though. God, this is bad. So I can take this, I can hit them with everything, deal 6 to them, put them down to 12. Skirk Commando can deal 2 damage to, say, Angelic Page. Or I could play another Skirk Commando. The thing is, I can't like bluff that same attack I did with Kong Ming last turn unless I use Act of Treason, which isn't great. I'm 1 mana off from being able to like play 2 things. So I think the right thing here is to probably play Humble Defector. Take everything and kill off Humble Defector. That seems really bad too. I think it might just be right to cast this or just get some damage off the board. This is so bad. This is so bad. Plus, what if they play 2 creatures next turn? This becomes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a tough turn. Morphin this doesn't change anything. Alright, I think I'm going to play another Skirk Commando and just pass. I might just go for like the double block here or something like that. I get blown out by Uncaged Fury, but I think I need to stop Mog Flunkies. It's dealing the big butt of the damage here. They're going to want to play creatures pre-combat if they have them because of this Griffin. Okay. Can I afford to take this hit? I'm really feeling an Uncaged Fury. You know, let's just try and get this Mog Flunkies off the board. Then hopefully we can manage the rest of the creatures. They can pump into a 4/4 with Angelic Page. They have 2 spells in hand, so they can bolt something. There are just a lot of cards they could have that blow me out here. But I'm in a position where there's not too much else I can do. They're doing something. They Swords to Plowshare Skirk Commando. So I guess I gained a little life there. Jackal Pup is not what I wanted to see. Alright, so now if I Act of Treason Angelic Page, Skirk Commando doesn't even do what I want it to. That's kind of gross. Jackal Pup coming down, I suppose. Jackal Pup was like possibly the worst thing I could think of there. I mean, I can Act of Treason this, but then Skirk Commando has no targets. Right now, I'm looking to play Jackal Pup and just take 3, 4, 5, 6. That can't be right. Do I offer this trade here and just take a beating? I mean, I've got to play Jackal Pup at the minimum. I want Swords to Plowshares and Lightning Bolts. Ugh, gosh. If I take this with Act of Treason, I get to hit them for 3, 4, 5, put them down to 13, not anywhere close to killing them. If I take Mog Flunkies and I attack with everything, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they probably trade here, assuming there are no tricks or anything like that. They still just get to hit me back for 5. Oh, sorry, Jackal Pup can't attack this turn. This is a complicated turn because if I don't do anything, then I'm just saying I'm getting beat down, and that's going to keep happening. Alternative is like double blocking here and here or something like that, and that can't be right. So I think I've got to just do nothing and take my licks. I need ways to get these little creatures off the board so that Mog Flunkies can stop attacking me. God, I really don't want to double block this, especially with Jackal Pups. I'll take 3. I'll take the same amount of damage anyway. I guess that's going to happen regardless, so make that block. What am I hoping to draw? Nothing. I've got to take this hit. I think we're not long for this world. Then they can Uncaged Fury something. I'm not actually even sure what they just cast there, but they killed me with something. I assume it was Uncaged Fury. But yeah, we fell behind in that last game. We kept a lot of sketchy hands, and it didn't pay off for us in the last game. But we had fun. We got to kill someone with Triskaidekaphobia, and that's all you can ask for. So I don't know what I think of this format. I guess that was just the first of many drafts to do in this set, and I'll be drafting in real life this upcoming weekend. Recording this on Wednesday again, just for the record. I don't know if what I drafted was something you should typically see. I think most of the decks are going to be just hodgepodge messes of cards that fit into 2 or 3 colors, and that's kind of what you can expect. But at any rate, thank you all for watching as always. Let me know how you felt about the draft, and I will see y'all next time. My name is Timothy with Mana Rocks, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.